Let me start off by saying that Killer Klowns from Outer Space is one of my favorite B movies of all time, possibly my favorite. If you've been on this channel since the early days, you may remember I've already done a video on this movie. And it even got the attention of the composer of Killer Klowns from Outer Space, John Massari, so that was really cool. But I thought it was a great time to revisit this movie. Universal Studios has their Halloween Horror Nights event going on. Killer Klowns was a scare zone last year. This year it's an entire haunted house. So I'm in the mood for some scary clown movies. There's actually a term for the fear of clowns, more so the phobia of clowns, coulrophobia. And when I was a kid, I definitely had to have some form of it. This movie right here, Stephen King's It, messed me up for years. After I saw that movie, I wanted nothing to do with clowns throughout my entire adolescence. I was terrified of them. And clearly it was a bad idea watching Killer Klowns from Outer Space, but I did it anyways, and it scared the shit out of me. Now that I'm a fully grown adult, I love the movie, and it's really not scary at all. It's a really cheesy, campy, fun movie that you can't take seriously at all. Pennywise the Clown might have been an interdimensional being that eats children, but he's got nothing on the Killer Klowns. They eat everybody by putting them in cotton candy cocoons and drinking their blood through crazy straws. There's some good storytellers in the world, but I swear I'm not making that up. Kind of a messed up thing for a clown to do. And you know what else? Wouldn't it be a lot easier drinking through a regular straw? Drinking through a crazy straw, it's going to take a lot longer. But that's thinking logically. None of that matters in this movie. Let's not forget, these aren't ordinary human clowns. They're killer clowns from outer space. Aliens that happen to resemble clowns. Now, if we look at their biology, it appears they begin their lives as small larvae, small pieces of popcorn that can crawl around on their own. And eventually, the popcorn grows into a baby killer clown. Horrifying little creatures that grow into the adult killer clown, that come in various shapes and sizes.
Look!
Bodo.
It's all very ridiculous, of course, and you can't watch this movie and not have a good time watching it. It was made during the era of practical effects, which I will usually prefer over CG that just doesn't age well. All the clowns are essentially people in rubber suits, and they look great. You can tell the Chiodo brothers that were responsible for bringing this movie to life were well aware that the idea of the movie was completely absurd and over the top, and they just went all the way with it. Originally, it was going to be called Killer Klowns, but the From Outer Space portion of the title was added to keep people from thinking that it was a slasher movie. It's definitely not like a slasher movie at all. Plus, it sounds way better and more reminiscent of the alien invasion movies of the 1950s. Good call adding From Outer Space in there. It takes place in the quiet town of Crescent Cove, which in real life was actually Watsonville, California, and the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Killer Klowns from Outer Space is your typical alien invasion movie. A bunch of teens are hanging out in the woods, making out in their cars, committing the heinous crime of underage drinking and such. And then a streak flies across the sky. It's an asteroid that landed nearby. But of course it's no asteroid, it's a circus tent from space. And I love this farmer, Farmer Gene Green, played by Royal Dano. He's the goofy, over-exaggerated hillbilly character that finds the mysterious object from space, exactly like Stephen King's character in Creepshow, by the way. He finds a circus tent with his dog Pooh Bear that gets abducted, and he just goes apeshit.
What in tarnation's going on here? Where's my dog? Where's my Pooh Bear? I'll tear this thing apart with my bare hands!
And of course, the nosy teens, Mike Tobacco and his girlfriend Debbie Stone, clearly a play on words, two of the main characters, they find the same tent and they go inside to discover that it's not a circus tent at all. It's actually a secret alien ship lined with colorful walls and typical clown props. It's awesome.
This is no fun house.
What?
What is it, a nuclear power plant?
No.
A missile silo?
No.
A military base?
No! The shooting star!
What are you talking about?
The shooting star we went to go look for. We are in it! What was that?
There's a machine popping popcorn. I assume it's some kind of clown breeding chamber of some sort. Cotton candy cocoons filled with victims, and the incredibly dangerous weapons that killer clowns use to destroy their victims, including the extremely dangerous popcorn gun.
Down this way.
That popcorn gun is amazing, but one thing I never understood is how is it dangerous at all? Maybe the popcorn hits you with such force that you're just doused in high cholesterol. I don't know.
Are you okay?
I think so.
Come on.
Popcorn, why? Popcorn!
Because the clowns, that's why.
And you might not think that the popcorn gun looks so impressive in the movie, but that was actually their most expensive prop. It included a real compressor inside to blow out the popcorn at high speed. It took 6 weeks to build, and it cost $7,000. Worth it. After Mike and Debbie escape the clowns decide it's time to go to town and feed. A scene that highlights the awesome soundtrack the movie provides. The main theme is great, performed by the Dickies. There's even a full music video for it that you can watch right here on YouTube. And the musical score by John Massari is perfect for the time period this movie was made in. It rocks. Check it out. One aspect that's true with most horror movies, slasher movies, any movies where there's a monster trying to kill people, is that the human characters usually suck. They're usually mind-numbing stereotypes or obnoxious people multiplied by 10. And this is where Killer Clown really succeeds. All the human characters are actually very entertaining and fun to watch. It's not really all about the clowns. And also the dialogue. A lot of the dialogue in the movie is written with some of the finest cheese and delivered exceptionally.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?
I've never seen anything like this before. Have you?
No.
Well, that's because nobody has.
All these characters have really different personalities, too, that really complement the movie. My favorite has to be Sergeant Mooney of the Crescent Cove Police Department. He's a guy that's clearly been on the job for way too damn long. He hates teenagers. He's always in this foul mood. It's great. Every single scene he's in.
We were just walking through the park on the way to the dorm. We had a bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night. We were walking around. We didn't do nothing.
And it's scum like you that are killing this town.
Kurt, come on, Kurt, now just take it easy.
Screw you and your college flunkies. I know you, you little fart.
We just had a little wine. What's the problem?
You're the problem, you little shit. Fuck you. You got a thing for these little boys?
From outer space. It's got some candy, yeah, there has
Son of a bitch.
I I love this scene because this kid, let's go ahead and rewind that. He's not doing anything bad. All he's doing is just crossing the road, minding his own business, and for no reason, Sergeant Mooney he hates him.
From outer space. There's cotton candy everywhere.
Son of a bitch.
Mooney never redeems himself as a hero. He's like this throughout the entire thing. The town's getting invaded by clowns, people are being taken away all over the place, the police station's being flooded by phone calls, and he absolutely refuses to believe that anything strange is going on. There is no possibility.
Rich little bastards. I'd shoot them all. Oh, they took your wife away in a balloon? Well, you don't need a police pal, you need a psychiatrist. They want to play games? They're messing with the wrong guy. You ain't gonna get the best of me.
It even gets to the point where a clown confronts him directly, and he's still just being Sergeant Mooney.
Well, whoop the goddamn to do. What do we have here?
He thinks this entire scenario is an elaborate prank to make him look like a fool. The whole town is in on this prank. The other really entertaining characters in the movie are the Terenzi brothers. They're buffoons, the comic relief of the movie. They're constantly just getting into bad situations and arguing with each other. They're good school friends with Mike, and they're small business owners too. They have this ice cream truck that they drive around harassing people to buy their ice cream, which is also another one of the props this year at Universal Studios.
I'm Jojo, the ice cream clown with the bestest ice cream in town. We'll give you the stick, you give it a lick, and it'll tickle you all the way down. Ice cream, we brought our goodies here to you. A tasty treat for while you screw.
Mike and Debbie are also much more intelligent than the average B-movie victims. Instead of trying to resolve the issue themselves by going to some library and digging up the town's history or whatever, they go straight to the police. It's a great move normally, but the police officer on duty is Captain Dave Hansen, Debbie's ex-boyfriend that's having a hard time believing their story about alien clowns. In the meantime, the entire town is being assaulted. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. These clowns are very efficient. They're putting people in cotton candy cocoons all night, they're throwing them out of windows into the street, and then cleaning up after themselves with a giant vacuum cleaner. It's all very efficient and environmentally friendly. If you're gonna land on a foreign planet and eat the population, the least you could do is not leave a mess behind.
Get the hell out of here!
Oh, pizza.
For me? Oh, shit. Is this from you?
You know, if you ever find yourself in a situation where someone knocks on your door, you open it, and there's a monstrous clown standing there, for whatever reason, allow me to demonstrate how to avoid being murdered. Coming. Nope. I can't say the citizens of Crescent Cove are very intelligent, though. Maybe they deserve to be eaten. Sure, it's a horrible thing to say, but they didn't seem to have the capacity to recognize when some mischief was afoot. There's a scene where a clown is doing tricks with his hands and making these huge shadow figures that already seem impossible, and they're all just bewildered and entertained. I would have been running down the street minutes ago. I don't care.
Holy shit!
Believe it.
There's also a hilarious scene where a clown is riding an invisible motorcycle, and this guy in his car starts panicking, and the clown just rams him off a cliff. It's hilarious because during filming, most of the vehicles were rented, and they weren't supposed to be damaged. This one was supposed to roll short distance only, and it ended up just careening off a bridge. And another car they weren't supposed to destroy was set up to look like it was covered in cotton candy inside, but the material used for the webbing caused $3,000 worth of damage in the interior. No good luck with these cars here at all. And these clowns really do have an impressive arsenal of weapons. They have a little clown car that they drive around in, just like a cartoon where it fits a million clowns somehow, and display one of their greatest weapons of all time, acid pies.
What are you going to do with those pies, boys?
Look at this stuff.
Looks like a wad of melted ice cream.
Yeah, well, it's not. Oh, shit.
It's funny watching this movie now because as a kid, one aspect that really scared me were all the things the clowns can do. They can kill people in just about any way they imagine. They have super strength. They have acid pies. They are not to be messed with. One of the few legitimately scary scenes is when Sergeant Mooney gets killed by the clown he tried arresting. In an otherwise silly movie, it's a scene that catches you off guard and it's pretty dark. The clown has his hands inside of Mooney's body, controlling him like a puppet. It's messed up.
Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
And oh yeah, Captain Dave figures out the weakness of the clowns. All you have to do is pop their nose. We're used to all these movie monsters that are almost impossible to truly kill, like Jason and Freddy. You kill them, they keep coming back no matter what you do. There's always a way back. And here we have these clowns with such a glaring weakness, literally a huge bullseye right in the middle of their face. Eventually, Mike teams up with the Terenzi brothers to find Debbie, who's been captured in a big floating balloon. Yes, they also take people away in balloons. And he used one of the best arguments ever to convince them to put their lives in danger.
Hey, Mike, what do you want us to do? We have ice cream to sell tonight.
Paul, this is more important than selling ice cream. There's clowns going around killing people. We're all in danger.
Does she have any roommates?
Yes, she's got two. She's got two beautiful roommates with big boobs.
What are we waiting for?
Come on! Big boobs.
In the final act of the movie, they team up with Dave and they all go together to the clown ship and rescue Debbie, but they have to find a way to escape the ship too. And all the clowns come running after them. Dave just starts blasting them away one by one as they're coming. And the Terenzi brothers fall into a ball pit, of course, and meet the females of the species, clowns with massive inflatable jugs.
Are you Debbie's roommate?
And for the final battle in the entire movie, how do you top an army of killer clowns? You make an enormous king clown.
What the hell is that?
I don't want to play here anymore. Can we go home now?
Their leader is Jojo the Clownzilla. He's massive and looks great. He was originally intended to be created using stop-motion animation, but instead they built a set with miniatures and used clever camera work to make him look enormous. Clownzilla is actually Charles Chiodo, one of the Chiodo brothers, in a rubber suit. And this fight is complete unorganized chaos. The Terenzis seemingly explode in a violent death in their ice cream truck, set ablaze. And Dave is blasting away at Clownzilla with his gun, but he keeps missing until he's out of ammo. He would make an amazing stormtrooper. I find it hilarious that minutes ago this same dude was sniping clown noses from much smaller moving targets, but now there's an enormous slow moving one in front of him and he can't hit a damn thing. But he doesn't really need his gun anyways. so he survived. Somehow he magically transported in the clown car as it went flying in the air, crash landed with a heavy impact, and he survived.
Wow, what a ride!
Well, that's the last time we let you drive.
You're alive. Yeah, but I saw you guys get blown up in the ice cream truck.
Oh, that. Oh, we hid in the freezer with the ice cream.
Yeah. Anybody want a dipsicle?
And the Terenzi brothers also survived their vehicle explosion. It doesn't matter, none of this makes sense anyways. It's a movie about carnivorous space clowns. In the original ending, Dave was actually supposed to die in that explosion, but test audiences wanted a more upbeat ending, and I kind of agree with that, because it goes in line with the not-so-serious feel of the rest of the movie. I think that was the right call.
Do you think it's over?
Yeah, sure.
Over the years, Killer Klowns has become a cult classic, rightfully so. There's really nothing else out there like this movie. It has spawned action figures, it has spawned all kinds of collectibles, and there's been talks going back for years about a sequel, potentially called Killer Klowns from Outer Space in 3D, that was in development hell for a while. There were rumors that Sci-Fi Channel was going to either pick it up as a series, as a reboot, as a sequel, as a prequel. And if you want to check this movie out yourself, as always, I have an Amazon affiliate link that does help out the channel in the description. The movie is fairly cheap and well worth your time. Leave me your thoughts down below in the comment section. Did you watch this movie growing up like I did? I'll catch you guys later. Since you made it to the end of this video, I assume you enjoyed it, so why don't you go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any new content. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, links in the description below, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can join my Patreon or become a channel member. This is Fabian, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.